Hey, we're back. I'm back.
It's too bad all
I
the
can't hear you, Joe.
Everybody is back. Well, that's because I was moving from the desk to the chair where the thing is.
I see.
And now I'm adjusting the camera so you can actually see my smiling face. Which I know is what y'all tuned in for. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's a Dreamcast controller, not a 360 controller. 360 controller is a better controller than a Dreamcast controller. I would argue
it's hard to find a controller worse than a Dreamcast
worse than a standard
controller.
Dreamcast controller, right?
Or at least not one that's not a knockoff. Have you ever held an Ouya controller?
I didn't even.
I
don't
not.
think
Is
I
the
even
controller
realized that the Ouya had an official controller.
Yeah, those are pretty bad.
I
thought it
assumed
was
they
just the
were all
latency that was
just, you know.
What's that, Mike?
I thought it was just the latency that was bad on those things.
No, they feel really
The build
bad.
is flimsy.
They're kind of like I don't know, like a mid late '90s, early 2000s Logitech controller or something. They're just they feel shitty and plasticky.
I can tell you this: if you drop an Xbox 360 controller on your ankle, it hurts.
Did you just do that now?
I just did that right now, just now.
Yeah, Dreamcast is way worse than. It's worse than a Nintendo 64 controller. Worse than a PlayStation 3 controller. PlayStation 3 controller is probably fine, but I hate the loosey-goosey sticks on it. So.
I mean, they're not
anyway,
like Atari 5200 loosey goosey.
No, not quite like that, but close. They're just more functional than that. Also, they have less buttons on them than an Atari 5200 controller or a
It's true.
Atari Jaguar controller. So I guess those controllers are actually superior. Anyway, like I said, we talked about all the good shit like Emperor of the North and low background radiation steel, and so I don't know what's left to even discuss.
I mean,
Contra Hardcore again.
yeah, hardcore. Well, not Contra Hardcore. Hardcore Uprising.
Uprising, sorry.
Yeah.
So
Are
did-
you guys?
Contra's not in the title of that game, right?
That's right, which is pretty weird. I'm not sure who they're trying to fool.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys can see the stream, right? Stream is going.
I don't know. I didn't look.
Yeah, I'm watching it
Okay.
right now.
All right, cool.
Watching the sweet anime intro again.
I was too busy reading an article on.
Low background
Cobalt.
steel.
Yeah. I still can't believe that the 0.005 millisieverts per year makes that much of a difference. But I mean, I guess in a world where we have neutron detector laboratories, I should.
Right.
Or neutrino, I mean.
Needs
God,
to be pretty good.
God, what kind of physicist says neutron instead of neutrino?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
How dare you, sir?
You're fired, Mike. It's
Yeah.
over.
Oh.
All right, so I'm just gonna pick up from stage 2 because that seems like the reasonable thing to do since I played stage 1 the other day. So I'm warming up to this game a little bit, Mike. I had an urge to play it a little earlier, but when we talked about streaming it, I instead played a bunch of Dreamcast games because, like I said, during tonight's Genesis or Genesis isn't, I have created the ultimate Dreamcast, so I've been putting it through its paces lately. But yeah, I don't know. This game is growing on me a little bit. I still don't. It's not like, I don't think it's a top tier Contra. But there's some stuff going on here for sure.
I don't think I have a top tier Contra really. Like, there's a bunch of those games that I like, alright. But I don't think I have none of them that I hold in the same kind of esteem that you do, I don't think.
Well, it's okay to be wrong sometimes, Mike. I won't hold it against you.
Yeah, you will.
I probably will. Well, only because it's about Contra. Yeah, I mean, I think that, Arc System Works has traditionally done a lot of cool, interesting stuff, and, I like what they do or what they're trying to do here. I think I need to get a little more used to the controls, because this whole double tapping to run when I should just be running all the time because it's a Contra game it's a little bit of nonsense.
Double tapping to run?
Yeah,
There's
you can.
a button for running.
Yeah, but why would I do that when I can just double tap?
because then you don't have to double tap. It's less annoying.
I don't think it is less annoying. Moving my hand off the shoot and jump buttons to hit a different button to start running seems more
It's a shoulder
annoying.
button.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, it's
I'm
not.
pretty sure it's right bumper, isn't it?
No, right bumper strafes.
Oh. Well, I'm pretty sure one of the shoulder buttons lets you start.
Left and right bumper. Maybe you set that as on your controls.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe you
Left and right bumper. Right, left and right
Kind of
bumper
impossible.
both strafe and. Sorry.
Although I might have decided I only needed one strafe button or
Yeah.
something along those lines.
The problem is, and I encountered this quite a bit on Saturday, is that it is not easy to play a Contra game and talk at the same time, especially when you don't already know all the stage layouts. It's like I'm trying to like figure out how these levels are set up and how everything is paced, and I just lost all my lives because.
But hey, you lost on the second level instead of the first.
Well, that's because I started on the second level, Mike.
Well, that's another thing that's nice about this game. You start wherever you want. Are you?
It's true.
I'm assuming you haven't played this since last time, so you haven't unlocked any cool stuff. In the meantime,
I haven't unlocked anything additional. I think I unlocked like an extra energy bar and an extra life, like per continue or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's
If
see,
you want to
right on
unlock,
there- Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, if you want to unlock stuff, blitzing through the first level and doing well at it will get you a lot more points than kind of,
Failing in the second
fudging your
level.
way through the second.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I was gonna say, Rhino Nar says that he's heading to Pittsburgh tomorrow and wants to know if we have any games to recommend.
I've heard Pittsburgh is kind of nice now.
I haven't been to Pittsburgh.
I mean, if you're
I
looking for
drove through it
video
a
games,
lot when I lived in DC, but I don't think I've ever been to
I
Pittsburgh.
drove through Pittsburgh once.
Yeah.
I know that there's a Fallout 3 expansion that is set in Pittsburgh, so if that's what you're looking
Oh
for,
yeah, that's right.
the thing I can think of
Yeah,
off the top of my head.
You ride the train or whatever, right? The
It's,
hand
I think
cart.
it's called The Pit or something like that.
Yeah, I remember my roommate
And I think
playing that.
maybe some of the Left 4 Dead, maybe it wasn't the first Left 4 Dead kind of in like South PA.
Was
I
it?
feel like they kind
The
of.
Mercy. Maybe that. I'm trying to
I
remember
feel like
No
it was
Mercy
implied, but I don't think they were actually said.
Okay.
where
Well, that's
it
the only.
was
Those are the only ones that I can think of.
supposed to be. But I mean, if you're just looking for games to play on a trip,
Well, I guess all the Madden and baseball and all the various sports games have Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh, yeah.
except for the NBA games.
Yeah, if you're just looking for like a thing to play on a trip or like in a car or plane or whatever, I hate this thing's attack pattern.
Yeah, I don't know what you have for systems and stuff.
Yeah, you have
that
to let
that
us
new.
know what.
I picked up that Zelda Crypt of the Necrodancer thing. It seems pretty good, except I don't
Yeah.
have any rhythm, so I fucking suck at it, just like I did with the Mexican Necrodancer.
You can turn it off, can't you?
I think,
Yeah, you can
I
turn
think
off,
you can,
like,
but that
needing
feels
to-
like there's like no point in playing the game at that point. So
I hear you.
let's see. Sky Reynolds said, "Does someone mention steel as in the Shaq movie?" Yep, the low radiation Shaq movies is what they use to make medical equipment and Geiger counters and stuff out of. And definitely not old German boats from World War One that were produced before there was background radiation that made steel production shittier and tainted. Should look up low radiation, low background radiation steel at some point. It's pretty interesting. Manny R says this is dope as hell. Sure.
It's okay. I mean, I don't dislike it as much as my first impression, however many years ago. But Mike clearly still likes it more than I do.
Continue.
But maybe I'll warm to it as I learn the stages. I should really
You'll
play
warm
it
to it once you
without
start-
talking.
Yeah.
Trying to talk.
You'll warm to it
and
once you start
play.
spawning every life with a spread gun.
It almost feels like cheating, if I'm being honest, Mike.
Yeah.
Man, so if I ever wanted to feel bad, Summer Games Done Quick is this week, and maybe there are people watching that instead of this who would normally be watching this. I don't know, but it sounds like most of our regulars are in the chat tonight. But there was a hard mode. What the fuck? That takes all my okay. I didn't realize there were things that just like did more damage than. But there was a hard mode speed
You're
run.
carrying a little damage.
Well, right, but okay. Well, there was a hard mode speed run of Contra 3, and I was just like, man, I feel woefully inadequate now because that dude blitzed through Contra 3 on hard mode, and well, the interesting is the Contra speed runs. Like there was a co-op like regular Contra 0% run, which means no picking up items. And they
No guns?
like no guns.
That seems just wrong.
And they don't give a shit about lives. I mean, they give a shit about lives insofar as like they don't want to have to continue because that. But they did actually first loop doing a speed run. The guys continued.
The thing with them with lives is they only care about time. So if losing a life is faster, then that's just what they'll do.
Right, exactly. So yeah, it was interesting to see that. But the dude who ran Contra 3 on hard, which yeah, the only difference at the end is that there's one additional phase to the final boss, and then you get an actual ending. It had been so long that I was like, I think you fight the brain. The brain flies after you, and you have to fight the brain, and that was right. What the?
Continue.
And that was correct. I now have confirmation of that. I don't feel like many of the weapons in this game are super useful. Also, like, I just get fucking destroyed immediately and lose them because unlike actual Contra Hardcore, even though you have a life bar, you don't have to lose a life to lose your weapon.
You just gotta get better at switching away from your good gun when you're about to take a hit. You should be used to that. You played Contra 3 a lot.
Yeah, but I don't die nearly as much in Contra 3.
Let's see. Snarkcast Production says, haven't played this for a few years, but I'll need to see if it's on my backward compatibility list.
It is. We talked about that on Saturday a little bit. I think Carolyn checked it when we were...
Yeah. LBD Night Train says that he thinks that it is, and he confirms that it is. So.
Okay, so this weird...
And Starcast is watching a Pirates game right now. So are you from Pittsburgh? Are there any?
He's from.
Can you think of any Pittsburgh games other than
any Pittsburgh-related video games?
DLC? I feel like there's an old side scroller or something that has a level called Pittsburgh in it, but I cannot.
You probably go there in Rampage, right? Because you visit like
maybe,
every...
yeah. And then Night Train wants to know if we talked about Rogue Corps. If we did talk about Rogue Corps, like on Saturday.
On Saturday we did, yeah.
It's kind of hard to say, but it really, I'm not excited for that game to come out, and there's a pretty good chance that I'll never actually cover it.
I pre-ordered it. I might cancel the pre-order, but I do have a pre-order of it.
Don't let Konami they'll give Konami money for doing that bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the impressions are as it gets closer. I'm extremely cautiously optimistic. Let's put it that way. I mean, I want to believe that Nakazato can do something, but just the idea of like you can't constantly shoot in a Contra game, like.
Yeah.
That seems wrong to me on just a basic instinctual level, like that I would have to stop shooting. It seems wrong, and you know, that's about the long and short of it for me, is that I don't ever want to stop shooting in a Contra game. And making me have to come on. Making me have to stop shooting is not, and giving me a lot of hope.
I like the way that robot crocodile dies.
Yeah, all the characters are like very richly animated here. Too bad the backgrounds are, what they are. But that was sort of the nature of Xbox Live. Downloadable titles in general, but specifically Xbox Live at the time, because there was a limit on how big they could be, which slowly but surely kept getting pushed up and up and up. But
yeah, it just depended on if there was a marquee game that needed a bigger.
right, when Symphony of the Night came out, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we guess we'll make it bigger. And then I don't remember what the one, there was something else after that, but then it was like, oh, this is the next thing that's gonna raise the limit. So that deflecting gun I quite like. I just lost it, of course, but
yeah, I was gonna say that thing seems pretty cool actually. That's a nice addition to
once I sort of grasped like how it worked and what it was doing.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's an interesting innovation and something that I wouldn't mind seeing them explore more in a future Contra.
What about crocodile platforms?
I mean, I've known that I like those since Pitfall, so I don't really know if there's a great deal more that I can say about that.
What if they're robots?
I mean, that just makes it a little better, but crocodiles as platforms is dope either way.
So I'm actually from DC, but I grew up in Western Maryland, so that's not too far from Pittsburgh. Well, I'm surprised you're not an Orioles fan.
Or a Nationals fan, although I guess the Nationals...
I'm going to guess that there was no Nationals when he was a kid, but unless he was very, very young.
I've met him. We met at MagFest, he's not. So.
Okay.
No, he's...
let's see.
Okay.
LBD says, I hate it when there aren't 30-man codes or something, because that's how I learned. Yep. Well, it's one of the best things about original Contra is that you can put the training wheels on with basically no penalty if you want, and then learn how to play the game. That was like, we talked about it when we talked about Contra 4. That was one of the suckiest things, is that it has like a beginner mode or whatever, but you can't see the whole game that way, so you can't practice anything except for like the first 4 levels.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. But there is it wasn't known at the time, but there is a code in Contra 4. Like, there is.
You have to put it on the touchscreen, I believe?
You have to use the touchscreen, yeah.
But yeah, it was really frustrating when I played that game.
And then I recently saw someone say, like, oh, there's like a glitch where you can glitch a bunch of extra lives. Apparently, which there's a place where you can glitch like 99 extra lives, but I didn't know about that until someone mentioned that recently to me. So.
Night Train says, I miss the age of Xbox Live Arcade.
I mean, we're still kind of living in it, aren't we?
I was gonna say, like, every day is the summer of arcade now, which is like a good and a bad thing.
It was fun at the time because it was new and we were getting lots of cool stuff.
Yeah.
It was getting a lot of publicity.
Remember when they'd give you like $5 off if you bought all 5 of the games that came out or whatever?
I guess I don't, but
yeah. I do remember that.
No,
they'd have like marquee
did,
titles for Summer of Arcade, and if you bought them all,
there was like 5 Summer of Arcade titles, and if you bought all 5, they'd give you $5.
You'd get $5 or $10 back or something. Yeah, I remember that. Or like the last one was just cheaper or something like that. I don't remember exactly how they did it, but
yeah. It's like, I think there
were some really good games that came out of like those promotions.
For sure.
Well. I think this was a Summer of Arcade game, actually.
Might have been. I feel like the Summer of Arcade marquee sort of lost its luster over time. Like
the last couple of years were a little weak comparatively.
Well, once like you said, like once every day was, when every game is.
I'm talking like 2012 or something. When the last few Summer of Arcade things happened. Like the games just weren't that interesting. And even by that time, we were kind of in that era. Like, there's good games coming out all the time, so it's...
Dude, that these snipers can one-shot me is such fucking horseshit. Like, that is...
Snipers!
They give you a lot of pretty generous amount of time. Here we go. So I'm going to go over the Summer of Arcade. 2008, Bionic Commando Rearmed, Braid, Castle Crashers, Galaga Legions, and Geometry Wars Retro Evolved.
Galaga what?
Galaga Legions.
Oh, Galaga Legions.
Galaga Legions was good. I like Galaga Legions. I don't know
the
if
weakest
it's
of that whole crop, and it was still pretty good.
I don't know if it's like Pac-Man CEDX levels of like a good Namco arcade revival. It's not, but like it's still
that
good.
I don't think either of those games were Summer of Arcade games, though. They were just.
I think the first one was.
Well, I can go through the list.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, keep going.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Re-release. Shadow Complex. Explosion Man.
I like Shadow Complex.
Yeah,
Shadow Complex was good.
That's another Metroidvania I'm afraid to revisit. Shadow Complex.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like that might be one of those games that was better in a time when we weren't getting a million decent Metroidvanias all the time. But maybe not. Maybe it's still good.
Also, it kind of sucks to play a game that's based on like a homophobic author's admittedly hilarious vision of a dystopic USA where the gays have run amok and have formed a fascist society.
Yeah.
That's a really weird game.
That less than a 0.1%, or less than a tenth of the population of the United States somehow has gained control and is controlling everything.
So do I lose all my money when I... No, I don't. Doesn't look like it.
Look, Mike, it makes him really uncomfortable when people don't like it when he uses slurs. So
yeah,
they have to
he should be.
It's true. He has sacrificed a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, then Explosion Man was that year. TMNT, Turtles in Time Reshelled, and Trials HD.
I mean, Explosion Man, worth it for the song. We all know.
Yes, I had a great time with Explosion Man, and the co-op in Explosion Man was hella good.
What the fuck?
And nobody else did either.
Was pretty well regarded, I think, at the time, because that was another one of those things like it was a pretty good multiplayer game, and in 2010 it was enough for a game to be a pretty good multiplayer game to have.
Which one are we talking about now?
Monday Night Combat.
Monday Night Combat.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I bought that one. Wasn't and sorry, I don't. My computer just stopped, or Discord stopped giving me your audio for a second. So I don't know if you did. We get to was Shank
Nope.
Summer of Arcade? Really?
I don't think so. Well, hang on here. I'm not done yet, but I don't think so.
I didn't say. Well, Mark of the Ninja was though. I'm almost positive. That might have been last year. One of the last years.
2011 was Bastion, From Dust, Fruit Ninja Connect.
Jesus.
Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet, which is an all-time great video game trailer.
And a great title.
And title.
I don't know if it's as good as Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo X, the Grandmaster Challenge for Matching Service, but it's still a pretty good title.
It's also a great looking game. It's like kind of good to play. It's a solid game. It's like a solid B- or C+ or whatever, but the trailer, the excitement around the trailer was probably the best part of that game. And then Toy Soldiers Cold War was the last game of 2011. You can see it starting to...
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. I don't even know what that is off the top of my head. So
I think it's a tower defense game.
Oh, those were all the rage for 5 minutes there, so they very well could have been.
According to Wikipedia, it is an action strategy game, which sounds
like a tower defense game.
Secret code word.
2012 is Deadlight.
Was that the one?
Was that like a 2D platformer with zombies?
Yep, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was
Vaguely
thinking of
like
Lit
Limbo
for a
looking
second.
kinda.
Actually, I was gonna say, was that the one with the flashlight mechanic? But that was Lit. That was a WiiWare game, right?
I think so.
That was a way forward game.
And that's one that's dead now too, just like Contra Rebirth, because that was only on WiiWare.
No, you can get Lit on phones. I want to
Okay.
say.
Oh well, shit. Let me run, not walk, to play that game on my fucking Android device.
Well, I don't think it's much worse than on WiiWare, is it? It's like a puzzle game.
But you have to like move a character around and avoid enemies and shit. And that just
You know what it
doesn't-
is? They made like a. I think they actually made an updated version of that game.
Really?
I want to say.
Let's see. Also, 2012 was Dust and Elysian Tale. Which was a game I liked that quite a bit. I thought I had a lot of fun with it.
I remember
It was a little, like it was very like, it was like furry genocide was happening. Like that was the story. It was like, yeah, these things are bad, but also like the context, like the seriousness of it was maybe a little too thick for me. But I liked that game quite a bit. I mean, to be fair, genocide is a very serious subject, but
that's true.
It was like the game was so serious that it was a little, I don't know, it wasn't as enjoyable as I might have hoped. Something called Hybrid.
No memory of that. God damn it.
Doesn't ring a bell at all.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I remember Hybrid Heaven, the wrestling RPG.
In
for the N64.
2032, a catastrophic accident has obliterated Australia and set the world into turmoil.
How can you tell the
alien
difference?
race
You know what I mean?
of variants compete with surviving humans called the Paladins to collect powerful substance known as dark matter. This is like okay, I remember this because Coffee and I played the beta, I think, like for a hot minute.
Sounds like something you guys would do.
It's like a third-person shooter with a jetpack, I think. Ever it is
Sure.
a third-person shooter.
Why
with a
not?
heavily focused cover system. Player used a jetpack to move, but I don't think you have direct movement. I think you could just like fly from cover to cover. Like you would like bounce from cover to cover. I don't know. I remember it being like fun for a couple nights and then never thinking about it ever again. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD. And Racketeer.
No Dead Kennedys, no sale.
Which is another Connect.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD was the Summer of Arcade.
Yeah,
Apparently,
definitely
yeah.
was.
Like I said, because after 2010, 2011 was when they started just putting out like that was when the indie game explosion started to happen. There was just good games all the time.
Yeah. So none of those Clay games were Summer of Arcade.
And then 2013 was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows Flashbacks re-release. Brothers, which I like quite a bit, and Charlie Murder, which is
Yeah, Charlie Murder was okay.
okay. It was okay. I like that.
Scott Studios,
Yeah,
four-player
it's
brawler.
I heard it's
where you
good.
play
I
as
got
a
it for
punk
free
band.
at some point for I don't know what reason, but I never tried it.
I don't
Kind of
know.
towards the end of the Xbox 360 cycle.
Yeah. Like we played a shitload of ZP2K9.
Yeah,
That's
we
true.
sure did.
That wasn't an arcade game. It was like that was an Xbox Live Indie Games thing, I think. Because I think
that
our
was,
friend
yeah.
Adam, right, was friends with him on the Xbox Live Indie Games forum or something, and he found it and pointed it out to us. I
That
believe.
sounds correct.
And then we played. I remember playing a shitload of that. But yeah, so that's it for the summer of arcade games.
Huh.
So like I said, at a certain point, just
You got like 2 or 3 really solid years.
yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, Mark of the Ninja was September 2012. I think Shank was in
September.
the winter, maybe.
That might have also been September. Those might have been games that came out like right after the Summer of Arcade ended.
August
those
24th
years?
was Shank.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I thought they were, because they both came out like.
Yeah, just afterwards.
I kind of wish Clay would make an action game again. Like,
They had so much success with Don't Starve that they just stuck with that for several years.
Well,
Yeah.
Invisible Ink was after Don't Starve, wasn't it? Or was...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried Invisible
Invisible
Ink. I
was
could
like
not
4
get
years
into it.
ago.
I couldn't...
I like that
same.
one a lot. I'm not surprised you didn't like it, Joe.
Yeah, it's the least surprising thing.
There's something coming out this year called Griftlands. It's a deck building roguelite.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll check that out.
That.
I mean, that could be good, but it kind of feels like everything's a deck building roguelite these days.
Right. Those are what tower defense games were 9 years ago.
I don't know if I ever played a tower defense game that I liked as much as Slay the Spire, though.
I'm a big fan of tower defense games.
I played a fair amount of like Plants vs Zombies on my phone. Like
Yeah, Plants vs.
airplanes and
Zombies is a
shit.
good ass game.
That's true.
The original Pixel Junk Bumpers, also a good ass game.
I just never really liked tower defense stuff that much. But,
Yeah, it never quite. I played the demo of the South Park tower defense game. That was an
I'm
Xbox
not sure about that
Live
one.
thing. I think that was done by a developer that was like, you know, known to be like relatively good when it came to that stuff, but like I just don't.
Yeah, LBD Night Train says that I feel like there were games that were of that era that we don't see as much now, and then mentions like Pac-Man's Championship and Mana Commando and Galaga Legions and
I mean, they did another.
I mean, they did CEDX and CEDX2, and CEDX is one of the best video games ever made. As far as I'm concerned. Second one, not so much. But, yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of people trying to, you know, get in on that updated classic game money, but I feel like those were like the 3 or 4 that were actually really good, and then there were a bunch of other attempts that weren't really as good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, what is it, Pac-Man 256 on Android was
That's a fun
pretty
game.
fun. Yeah, and
Yeah,
fun with
okay.
that. I mean, I think the problem is that, like, for me at least, a lot of those old games still hold, like, Ms. Pac-Man still holds up, in my opinion. And so the idea of, like, we're going to try to do something that's, you kind of have to reinvent the wheel like they did with CEDX, right? Because that game, like, it is Pac-Man, but it's not Pac-Man, you know? Or, like, Space Invaders Extreme, like, it is Space Invaders, but, like, it's kind of not Space Invaders. You know? And
Yeah.
I think that's sort of, like, you kind of have to do that, and it seems like people kind of ran out of ideas. Or they just make, like, mobile phone. Like, there's some Galaga thing on mobile that my dad plays, like, a fair amount, because he likes, like, original Galaga, and it's, like, a easy time waster on mobile. And he also, like, refuses to buy into, like, microtransactions, right? So, like, the whole thing is, like he'll get frustrated, and I'm like, Dad, the point is that they want you to buy shit. And he's like, but I'm not going to buy shit. And I'm like, you should just quit then. Because they're making it frustrating on purpose, so you buy shit. And, like, that's...
Can you just put an emulator on your dad's phone so you can just play Galaga?
Like Galaga? Yeah, right.
There was some talk about some other potential LBD Night Train specifically mentions Dig Dug as a Namco game that never got. That was the one I always wanted, especially after Pac-Man CE came out.
It seems like something you could do and make pretty fun.
And then you got
Yeah.
Dig Dog, so you have it.
Right, that's true. Dig Dog came out this year, so that game exists and it's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, there is, like, I think it's just really, like I said, there was quite a few of those games that I don't think we actually remember because most of them weren't as good as Pac-Man Championship Edition.
Or Space Invaders Extreme. There was Arkanoid
yeah.
DS, which was like, it's just kind of okay.
Yeah.
Unless you had the spinner controller, which they didn't
That
release
Pong
in the US.
game for the PlayStation.
Oh god.
Frogger.
Well, that's, you're going a lot further back if you're talking about
Yeah.
like Pong and Centipede for
I
the
know.
PS1. But
Actually, that Pong game for PlayStation is kind of fun.
the ultimate
Frogger is
iteration on
real bad.
the ultimate iteration on Pong though is Windjammers, right? Like that's Pong taken to the next level in a way that you want Pong to be taken to the next
The
level.
ultimate iteration of the breakout / Argonoid formula is Wizorb.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I like those games in general, but I did not like Blue Zone very much either.
Well, you're wrong and bad.
You heard it here first, Mike.
I've heard it several times in the past. I think I've already heard it tonight.
Konami Rebirth games and we were similar vein. Yeah, that was that era of those two. And that.
Yeah, those aren't. I think we're kind of talking about different things though. Like we're talking about the sort of quote unquote golden age of arcade games.
Those aren't the same as like new 2D platformers that are in the vein of a Castlevania or Contra.
Right. I feel like we're talking about
There's
games
a lot
prior
of
to like
things.
1983.
If you're looking for a good 2D game, this is like maybe the best era to be living in. There's a lot of them.
That dude went somewhere, but I'll be damned if I know where. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, Snarkcast says it was about then the awful flashback remake was released. I say that as someone who loved the Genesis game. I didn't play the remake, but
yeah, I heard it was
cool
so bad though.
Yeah.
Like I heard nothing but bad things about that.
Does the remake contain a version of the original?
Think so?
No, there's a re-release that's out now. That came
Okay.
out or like recently, but the original, the remake, I believe, does not include the original game.
That's a big old drag.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was just it was like polygonal 2D, right? And just when you remove the art style from the game, it loses a lot of its charm. In my opinion, anyway.
Well, because it looks so good in 2D, so then to upgrade that to... I mean, this is the thing that happened a lot on the Xbox 360, was taking a really good-looking 2D game and upgrading it to a crummy 3D one.
Make it look like Uncharted or something.
Well, not as good, right? Because they don't have the budget to make it.
Even if you made Flashback that looked as good as one of the modern Uncharted games,
it wouldn't be as charming.
Really, still would want is the old weird rotoscope sprite artwork of the original, because that's like.
Well, it's not even weird. It's amazingly smooth. Like it looks really good.
I mean, it is kind of weird.
It's a weird looking game, but that's why. That's one of the reasons that I find it so attractive, is that it is unique.
I just think it reminds me of like super classic sci-fi stuff, like Mobius kind of paintings.
Right,
do you really
but
think it looks like Mobius?
When I say weird, I mean more like unique in the space.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty.
There are a lot of
unique.
video games that look like Flashback.
Well, there's kind of Prince of Persia and Out of This World.
Right.
Yeah,
That's kind of it.
and Heart of the Alien, which is not a very good video game.
And Blackthorn.
Blackthorn, well, the
Blackthorn
different versions
animates
of
like that,
yeah,
but
but it
doesn't
doesn't
really
actually
look
look like
No,
it.
and I don't
Yeah.
think Blackthorn is an especially good game.
No. It plays similarly, but it's not as good. Snarkcast says Plants vs. Zombies was a good game, then in the words of Spoon, and then Electronic Arts.
Yeah, that sequel was rough. I haven't checked in on it in a long time. It's
Are
been.
you talking about the third-person shooter one, or the?
No, the Plants vs Zombies 2 was a sequel that they monetized to hell on the iPhone.
Yeah. I actually
was not
kind
a
of
good
liked
sequel.
that shooter.
I think the shooter was fine. I didn't find it very fun, but it was competent.
It was a little like kludgy and like sludgy and slow, but like it was kind of fun to play as the different plants. Like a class-based wave shooter was kind of more of a novelty, but it was kind of fun.
Okay, so this dude is just like disappearing and reappearing on the other side of the fucking
But yeah, I feel like
deal.
PopCap
and
is a
like,
great example of a company that was a casualty of being snapped up by EA.
of course, and then as soon as I get close enough to him to deal with him, he kills me.
Remember Peggle?
Yeah.
I do, yes.
Do you remember when Games for Windows gave, when GFW Magazine gave Peggle Game of the Year?
I do not remember
Oh
that.
man, dude, there was a row.
Fucking
People went
crazy
fucking
about it.
berserk about that. I do remember that. Yeah.
2007, maybe? I don't know.
I was just thinking about Jeff Green the other day because Rocky Erickson died last month. And,
Yeah, I know.
When he was
I was
on,
too.
yeah, his album of the week was 13th Floor Elevators.
Right. He was getting ready to leave, and then we started talking about that, and then talked about it for like an hour.
Yeah.
Because we both had watched the documentary about
Yeah,
it.
right. Yeah.
How does it go? I may not agree with your opinion that Peggle is the best game of the year, but I'll defend to the death your right to select it.
You're right to choose it. Yeah. Something
Oh,
like
what
that.
other? You have to look up the other PC games that came out in 2007 and see.
2007. I mean, isn't that Modern Warfare, BioShock?
2007?
2007 was kind of a banger year for games.
Was BioShock 2007?
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember 2007 being like a hell of a
God
year.
damn it.
Stalker.
Mass
TF2
Effect?
came out in 2007. According to this scroll at the top of Google search.
So, I mean, I admire the troll move, but no way in hell is Peggle the game of the year for 2007. Not with any kind of retrospective look at it either, I don't think. Peggle's fine. It's like a slot machine that makes pretty noises. You have very little control over.
I mean, it was super addictive, right? Like 1 million people were playing it. I don't know. Who knows? What I did find interesting though is how bonkers 2004 was, because E3 just went by, and I went on this jag of like looking up E3 coverage from 2004, which is 15 years ago, and like, man, at E3 2004, both Metal Gear Solid 3 and Resident Evil 4 were shown, and man, that's just like, that's kind of crazy to think.
Good year for Konami.
Yeah. This thing is such a weird looking boss, by the way, for a Contra game. Like, this is...
It's one of my least favorite bosses in the game. Really, you spend all your time just trying to track it down, figure out which side it's going to appear on.
Yeah. I mean, this homing laser helps a little bit.
That's true, actually. Have you managed to upgrade the homing laser? I can't remember. Any of these weapons can be upgraded if you collect it twice.
Right. I haven't been able to pull that off with many of them so far. I did it with the spread, and I did it with the machine gun, and I think that's all I've managed to pull it off with so far. But there are power-ups in the shop that will...
you can start
touched it.
with...
Where you can start with it leveled up, yeah.
Oh, you're getting it done here. Oh, you lost your laser.
Yeah.
I need to take off, but I'll stick around until you finish this level.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna take off when I finish this level too. So I'm gonna go shopping and then I'm gonna take off. Come on.
Every game is better with shopping.
That has long been Mike Ailes' stance.
Ever since River City Ransom.
Yes, I know.
As long as you're not shopping with real money, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Keep shooting this guy, Joe. I want to see what you buy.
I'm working on it.
Almost got him. Shoot him with
Got
your
him.
gun.
There we go.
Did you shoot him with your gun?
I did. There aren't a lot of other attack options in Contra, as it turns out. So.
In this game, you can get a lady with a sword.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, you said there are several. Are they DLC
I
characters
think
or
there
they're
are two
unlockable?
DLC characters. So one is Sword Lady and one is Biker Dude. He's got like Elite Beat Agent's hair.
Nice. I wonder what those go for these days.
Probably the same price they went for back in the day. 400 Microsoft points.
$5. $5 for both of them, or $5 each?
I think they were each.
Jesus.
Can you still buy Microsoft points? Can you, or I guess they moved to dollars at some
I
point.
think they eventually just changed it to like use money.
All right, buy something fun like a weapon upgrade or a starter. Can you get it? You can't get starting.
I can get
weapons
action
yet.
chips. Bullet reflect action, dodge action while dashing, super tackle action while dashing, ambush and ambush shot action while dashing. I don't know.
I think the only one of those that's worth a damn is the reflect one.
How does it work?
There's a button that you can press and you can reflect small bullets if you time it right.
Okay.
Basically, you get a parry. Gotcha. You know, like in a Contra game.
Right, yeah, as is normal. So dodging and tackling and ambushing is not...
I don't remember ever using the dodging and tackling ones.
Let's see here. I can unlock another extra life. Looks like that just goes on for a while.
Buy guns.
Man, there's a lot of stuff.
There is a lot of stuff.
You should buy a gun.
Back for more.
There's a rapid. If I save, there's a thing that will make every weapon fire in full automatic mode. That sounds like it's probably helpful. But I don't know. I guess I'll do the thing where my spread gun is automatically upgraded whenever I pick it up.
The spread gun, come on.
That seems like a thing that I'd want to have. Oh, and then I can upgrade it so that it is always level 3.
Level 3 is when you get the 7-way spread gun.
Right, and then maybe if I unlock that, that's when it tells me now you can just you can unlock
level
starting
4 the spread gun where there's too many bullets on screen and you only shoot like half the bullets.
You do 5 and then 2 and then 5 and then 2.
Yeah.
You may have to finish levels to unlock more buying options. You might not be able to buy the default spread gun until later. I don't remember the rules.
Yeah, that seems right. I don't know. Who knows?
Okay. I think I'm gonna take off. So
yeah, I think I'm just
later.
gonna take a look at if I have to continue or whatever. That's what I'm gonna call it for tonight. So, but I'll check out the ruins.
Well, I have to continue not being here, which I also need to start doing. So I will start that and then continue it.
Sounds good, Mike. Thanks for hanging
Good night.
out.
Good night, Mike.
That guy, am I right?
What a piece of shit.
Canadians. Something in this game talks a lot when I shoot it. These bats attack me with their sonar, which that doesn't seem like that's how that would work, but... Whoa. There's just a lot of enemies that, like, when they blow up, or when something blows up, it's just like, hey, enemies. Or stuff that will kill you.
Oh, yeah, I seen that, like, when you shot that weird monkey guy.
Yeah.
He flung out a bunch of debris that exploded.
Yeah.
Looked like you could shoot it, maybe?
Yeah, I think maybe I could. You'd think after all the Contra I played that I wouldn't want to play more Contra, but Contra's so good, I just want to keep playing more Contra after the weekend.
I mean, this is quite a bit different than the other Contras.
It is. That's true. That's true, but I've been thinking about doing the two paths. There's 2 paths to Contra Hardcore that I have not done recently. And I've kind of been thinking, like, I should go back and do that. Do those 2 paths and count the core. Am I in control here? No. Yes. No. I don't feel people on you. Okay, so the arm has a life bar, and the thing has a life bar, and the other arm has a life bar. Everything has its own fucking life bar. And these shot patterns are really, really unfriendly to me, which I guess is the point. They're trying to kill me, but still. Oh, okay. That just fills the whole... Oh, okay, I can drop down. I see. Gotcha. What? Okay, that was... I don't really know... Oh, I'm supposed to grab onto the ceiling when it does that, even though it's under me on the level beneath. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Oh, now it's going to smash the... Oh, okay. Alright. I see how you're going to play. You dirty so-and-so. Oh, I forgot to say, I was going to say when we started the stream, and then I totally forgot, so I'm going to say it now towards the end of the stream. We ended up getting over $800 because there were some donations that came in after the fact, including my own. And did you make yours yet, Eric?
I haven't. I will when I cash my paycheck tomorrow.
There you go. So once you cash that, we're going to be close to 900, I think, actually, once you have made your contribution.
Good deal.
So, yeah, pretty pleased. We blew our
It was a Saturday
goal
well
away.
spent.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this
Well, I
thing's
couldn't really speak for a day afterwards.
yeah. Alright, well... Yes, I know I will lose my current game progress. Alright, well, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody who watched on Saturday, and there is a playlist on the channel if you want to watch the whole thing. Unfortunately, there were some breaks in the stream, so it has to be a playlist. But the last eight and a half hours is one.
Yeah, there were some breaks
thing.
in the stream where the stream broke.
Right,
so.
Exactly. So, but yeah, thanks for everybody who kicked in for that. Because, like I said, we got over 8. Once Eric kicks in, I think we'll be at 850 or close to 900 or something. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but so yeah, and we'll be back on Wednesday next week. I won't be back, actually. I'll be gone next week, but everybody else will be back with something. I don't know what. We'll still have to watch to find out. We'll see ya.
Bye.